most people don't have like their parents to like really fall back on, so they're usually like trying to do it themselves. Because most college kids probably have a job, like I do.
How do like the hidden costs, like you just brought up, like textbooks, some kind of technology? I think you brought up transportation. How do that kind of impact students who may come from like low income families?
I got all my basic things, but anything that's like extra, I would have to like go out of my way and pay for it, because I know that my mom does not have that right now. So I have to go out of my way, make my money, pay for my own things. Like low income families, they don't have like the luxury of just paying for everything and knowing that they'll still have money. They have to work and grind for it just to pay it off, and then go back and make that back.
So with that, like, has there ever been like a time, like for you or someone else you knew, where you kind of had to make a tough decision on like a hidden cost and how to pay for it? And was there ever a tough decision that you had to make in regards to paying for something that you needed?
Yeah. I needed like new pillows, new pens and stuff, because I had all my pens had busted. So I needed something. I didn't have any like mechanical pencils because they didn't ship yet. So I was already working, so I had to instead of like trying to help my mom with things, I had to kind of like tell her that I needed to purchase some few things on my own, and I really can't like help her out.
So you had to make a decision not to help your mom or to pay for some of the things necessities that you needed for school?
Yeah.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. My name is Victor, and I am your host for the Agentic Show. I'm the program coordinator for Energy Converters, and I just want to welcome you all to the show. I have a really, 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 really special guest with us today. He hails from North Philly. He goes to Rosemont College, and he's an education and mathematics major. None other than the good brother, Michael Dukes. How you doing this good day on this day?
I'm doing pretty good. Just got out of practice, so just a little exhausted, but everything else is fine.
Okay, for those that don't know, what do you do? So you said you were in practice. What kind of practice were you in?
I played D3 lacrosse at Rosemont.
Okay, you play lacrosse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a lot of us playing lacrosse. How did you get into lacrosse?
Well, I got into it I would say my sophomore year of high school, because my high school had a team, and I got tired of playing football, so I wanted to try something new. And the lacrosse coach came up to me and told me to come try out, and I just fell in love with the sport.
Nice. What position do you play?
I play attack, which is on the offense.
Okay, nice. Well, you got your first. I heard you said y'all had your first game coming up. When is that?
It's on Saturday the 15th. We play FDU.
Okay, you excited?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
All right. Well, good luck. Good luck out there. I'm hoping to hear good things back after Saturday. That you got the W. You brought it back home.
Thank you.
No problem. So we're gonna get started. So today's topic is, Michael, what's the topic that you wanted to talk to us today about?
About the hidden cost of education.
So the hidden cost of education. So we're gonna have a discussion on the hidden cost of education. I'm interested in this topic. So let's get it going. I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions just to get us going. And we're just gonna have a conversation. But let me know, if you have any questions that you want to ask, you want to talk. I'm just gonna kind of open us up and get this conversation rolling. And from there, it's gonna be on you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So initially, what made you interested in researching the hidden cost of education?
Well, I mean, I'm in college, and there's a lot of things that college expenses that they don't tell you about. Like just like from tuition and room and board, there's way more expenses than that when you're in school.
Like what? So what's some examples of those?
Like books, outside of the meal plan, kids eat outside. Kids eat outside a lot, so that comes in the picture too. Maybe if you play a sport, maybe you need gear, and the school can't provide you with gear, so you have to go out of your own pocket and buy that.
Gotcha.
Stuff for your dorm, because they just provide you with the room and the basic things. You still need to purchase all of your pillows, bring all your shoes and everything with you. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another expense they don't tell you about.
Mm-hmm. Now that's real. Like you naming some stuff that you wouldn't even think about because you just think about those things as just regular stuff that you just need. And as
Hmm.
when you're in high school, most times your parents is providing those things, right? But when you go off to school, these are added costs that you don't think about adding
Yeah,
and
and you're
factoring into.
and like probably like most people don't have like their parents to like really fall back on, so they're usually like
Mm-hmm.
trying to do it themselves. Because
And that's
most
a,
college kids probably have a job, like I do.
mm, mm. So that's the thing. So that kind of leads me kind of to my second question was like how do like the hidden costs like you just brought up like textbooks, some kind of technology. I think you brought up transportation and
Hmm.
stuff like that. How do that kind of impact students who may come from like low income families?
That would impact. Like I come from a kind of low impact family, so like I got all my basic things, but anything that's like extra, I would have to like go out of my way and pay for it because I know that my mom does not have that right now. So I have to go out of my way, make my money, pay for my own things. Like low
Mm-hmm.
income families, they don't have like the luxury of the luxury of just paying for everything and knowing that they'll still have money. They have
Mm,
to work and grind for it just to pay it off, and then go back and make that back.
mm. So with that, like, what is there? Has there ever been like a time, like for you or someone else you knew, where you kind of had to make a tough decision on like a hidden cost and how to pay for it? And was there ever a tough decision that you had to make in regards to paying for something that you needed since you've been in school?
Yeah. I needed like new pillows, new pens and stuff because I had all my pens had busted.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed some. I didn't have any like mechanical pencils because they didn't ship yet. So I was already working. So I had to instead of like trying to help my mom with things, I had to kind of like tell her that I needed to purchase some few things on my own, and I really can't like help her out.
Mm. So you had to make a decision not to help your mom or to pay for some of the things that you necessities that you needed for school.
Yeah.
What was it? Tell me what was that like? Like how was that feeling of like, wanting to be, help your mother out who you love dearly, but also at the same time needing to, make sure that you were good for school.
Like I was like maybe the pens can wait because maybe I could just borrow something from someone else. But college students, they usually carry like two of everything around their backpack here because the buildings aren't too far away from the dorms. So usually they only have their laptops with them.
Mm,
So I'm like, maybe the pens and stuff can wait, and I can help my mom out. Or, but then my mom would say, if you need to buy that, then you go do it yourself. I can wait, but I don't want to make my mom wait if she needs help.
hmm. No, that's real. And I feel like most children, like when you finally get out of when you finally become a quote unquote adult and you're able to
Hmm.
get a job, you've seen your mother or your parents like, doing all that they can to make sure that you are straight. And when you get to a age where you can do that for them, you want to do everything in your power to make sure that they're good. So I can
Hmm.
see that, like I can see that being a difficult thing sometimes to be like, yo, I got to make a decision between either, taking care of my family, my mom's, or taking care of myself. So I commend you on that. That's a very difficult situation to be in, and maybe more than you know, there's probably a lot more students who are dealing with those exact same things, right?
Yeah, because
Um,
college isn't free
mm,
for most kids.
uh-huh.
Only
No,
like a
for
handful get full rides and scholarships.
mm-hmm. No, that's real. So what would be some of your advice that you would give, like students who are, dealing with or battling being able to, make it through school, who are juggling like financially or struggling financially?
I would say the first thing is like search for like a job or What am I thinking of? Like campus jobs. Like they be having jobs on campus. I forgot what
Mm-hmm.
it's exactly called, but they have those on campus. You can get like a stipend every like month or every payday they do.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also like if you're like in walking distance of a place that needs help, you can also sign up there. Or if you can't do that during the school year, you have the summer. There's a ton of summer jobs you can do to save up money, so you don't have to try to rely on someone else if you need something.
Mm-hmm. Mm. So if you had the power, right? If you had the power to change something about education and how it's like funded, what would that be? What would you change?
Uh, if anything, I would change the because most of the time what I see is that room and board costs more than tuition. So I would
Mm,
change the price of room and board so it's like either the same price as the tuition or cheaper.
mm,
So kids don't have to pay so much, and then they're left with nothing throughout the school year. And if say if they don't have any more meal swipes for the week and they're hungry, and then they don't have any money, what are they supposed to do?
mm-hmm,
They're not going to be able to just call on somebody to ask them for money because what if they don't have it? Then you're just sitting
mm-hmm,
there hungry. So I would
mm.
say just lower the price of room and board or tuition, or
And how,
have more in school scholarship opportunities.
mm, how would you do that? Like, how do you think one can do that? Like, if a school costs, to be able to run, they need the money to be able to, run effectively. How do you just lower
Hmm.
the cost, in your opinion or your thoughts? Like, have you done any research or any thoughts around how you can do that?
I would say like school wide fundraisers. Those are like the one of the easiest things I can think of. We've had a couple this year. My lacrosse team just had a little fundraiser at a local restaurant not too far from the school. Like the little things like fundraisers can raise money for the school. Even if
Mm,
your school is like low D3, like barely making up on the cusp, like usually like the low D3 schools aren't as much as like the D1 schools that are like 90, 80,000 a year. Maybe the D3 schools maybe like 19,000, but that's still a lot for a low income family.
mm, got you. Have you ever thought about like this concept of collectivism? Have you ever heard about the concept of like collectivism?
No.
Okay, yeah. So like the concept of collectivism is, for me, in my opinion, and my thoughts, is just like, what would it look like if you all as students, right? Because
Hmm.
you just brought something up. You said it's meal swipes, so swipes, y'all got points, correct?
Yeah.
So for those of you students who are in high school who may not know what meal swipes are, um, part of your tuition can go, if you live on the dorms, can go to like meal swipes, which is points that you get on a card, kind of like a debit card that you would use and go into the cafeterias around campus to swipe them for food. Um, and sometimes they have like meals, you can swipe them for the meals in the cafeteria. Then sometimes they have like stores and stuff where you can buy stuff like little individual
Hmm.
snacks and stuff. Correct? Correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong. Correct? And
Yeah.
so, what would it look like collectively, like collectivism, right? If students who may not have as much, if we all pull together and say, hey, we all going to use our points and swipe it in this way to buy a big bulk of something so that we all can have something to eat on when things get low. So, what if like one week everybody said, we're not going to swipe out, we're going to all swipe together and get a collective of stuff. So now, weeks afterwards, when people's stuff is low, we have this to pull from.
Yeah. So
Does that
here
make
we
sense?
have Yeah, so here we have like regular meal swipes, and then we have meal dollars we use like for other things. Like say if you have other friends or someone's out of meal swipes, you can use those flex dollars to
Uh huh.
help pay for their meal or whatever they want.
Yeah. That's
So
all I'm saying.
depending on like what plan you have, there's different amount of flex dollars you can have. Like one, you have more mill swipes than flex dollars. One is like the same amount of mill swipes and the same amount of flex dollars, and one is more flex dollars than mill swipes.
Hmm. Yeah, and I guess I'm just saying a suggestion that I have is like for people to come together as a collective, right? So when we talk about collectivism,
Yeah.
like not always thinking about it from a, because if you having this issue, right? there's
Hmm.
probably more students who are having this exact same issues as you're having. And so, what does it look like to try to battle and go through this alone when you can have a collective of people who may have meal swipes and you'll all be able to pull those together and you'll be able to buy more, you'll be able to save more in some shape and form. So, I think that's another ideal for a solution or advice I would give students, right? Is to maybe pull together with some of your friends, some of your other students who you know may not have as many, and y'all put it together and y'all run up that run up those swipes, and now y'all got all this food to be able to like collectively like work with.
Yeah, because friends should have each other's back. So if someone's out there, see me, if you're hungry and I have the ability to give you something to eat, I'm always going to offer you something. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not just going to let you sit there and be
Mm-hmm.
hungry, and while everybody else is just eating. I'll pay for your meal.
So what do you say to students who like, yo, I worked hard for these swipes, or my parents worked hard for these swipes, or I'm going to work every day and I'm working hard. You need to be able to manage your swipes as well as mine. Like, what would you say to like the students who may
I
not?
would say I would say to them, I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm not gonna disregard them doing their hard work for their swipes, but other people might be going through harder things than you. You don't have to be so much like judgmental when it comes to someone else not having something. Like, we know
Mm,
you worked hard, but other people are going through harder things. So just try to like put yourself in their shoes and see what they're going through before you say, "Oh, I'm working so hard. Oh, you should have managed your swipes." No, first look at ask them what their situation is first, and then
mm-hmm,
see in what way you can help them.
mm. Is there a hidden cost that you didn't realize was going to be a hidden cost before? Like what was the most surprising hidden cost that you seen when it came to school?
Oh, definitely buying like things for your dorm, like food for your dorm. Like that's a hidden cost that nobody really talks about because
So
everyone
food.
has fridges and closets with snacks and stuff. Your parents are
Hmm.
not always going to be able to like send you stuff, so you have to have your own money if you want to have waters, juices, snacks, lunch meat, anything inside your dorm.
So it's food. So food was. So it seems like for you, food was like one of the biggest like hidden costs for you. You didn't realize like food was going to
Like
be a
like
big
like
expense.
like one month my mom would bring me something, and then it would last like a couple of weeks, and I'm like, dang, I don't have nothing left in here.
Uh huh.
And going to like grocery stores, not everything is cheap.
Yeah.
So you really have to you don't go to a grocery store when you're hungry because you'll get the wrong things. Go
Mm-hmm.
go to the grocery store when you're like when you have a list and you're not thinking about buying something that you really don't need.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's real. That's funny, but I didn't think about it like that. Definitely going to the grocery store when you're not hungry. Going to the grocery store when you kind of are full to some degree, so you can have your list and like stick to your list and not just
Hmm.
buy the wrong things because you're hungry in that moment.
Also
I know,
books, because
books.
sometimes some classes require you to get a book, but you're not going to read the full book, so you might just purchase the whole book and then you just don't need it.
Mm. So books are another like hidden cost for you.
Yeah.
And so what's your suggestion on what people can do when it comes to, the books that they have to buy?
Me personally, if you have like a laptop, I would search for an online PDF of the book, so you don't have to waste your hard-earned money on buying a book that you might only use once for the class.
Mm-hmm.
Because professors tend to tell you need to buy a book, but then you'll wind up only using it once or twice for that whole class.
Mm. So you're saying one of your suggestions is to look at alternative
Hmm.
resources online that may have, PDFs of the book that you can, pull from as opposed to buying the full books.
Yeah, or go to like a discount bookstore, see if you can find it for way cheaper.
Okay, so getting a used book as opposed to a brand new one.
Uh, yeah.
Got you. That's good. So this has been a good conversation about that. You're right on some of that, like especially when it comes to like food being a big expense, like transportation being a big expense, things that you got to have in your dorms, pencils, pens, like all of that. Like body wash, all these different things that you have to pay for that you don't really factor into spending when you in school, you're in college. Super important. And I think these are conversations, and there's policies that need to be changed or corrected because, like you said, it's like a hidden cost that you didn't think of. And it's been a cost that most people have been enduring since the beginning of college. So we should have more transparency around like what are going to be the specific cost of going to school outside of your tuition and room and board, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's something we got to talk about, and we're going to definitely explore these more with you. I'm going to make sure that we, give more information, more statistics on these hidden costs, so we can make sure that we can, figure out ways in which we can create policies to, or affect policy so that we can change those things. And that's what it's all about in regards to, being agentic and having agency is to, be able to make decisions, learn some information, and be able to make decisions for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So any last things you would like to say to the good people out there before we wrap it up, Mike?
It's also like one more cost.
Mm-hmm.
Your phone bill.
Mm.
That's another hidden cost because your parents aren't going to be paying that your whole life. So you're going to have to start picking up on that too.
Mm-hmm. So your phone bill is another one. And we know everybody loves their phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got to make sure we think about that as well. Think about that phone bill that your parents going to stop paying once you get grown, I guess is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Agentic Show. I'm Victor. This is Michael, and this has been the Agentic Show. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time.